Hey winners, have you ever wanted to place a bet with your bookmaker instantly when a bet matches a certain condition? Or maybe getting daily emails from a tipster or handicapper, but you keep missing out on the best odds? This video will absolutely fix that for you. Today, I'm going to show you how your AI agent can automatically bet with your bookmaker, and it works every single time. My name is Scott Logan, and I've been in the betting industry for over 25 years, working for the bookmakers, against the bookmakers, and consulting for some of the biggest names in the business. And now I'm here to bring you the secrets of how you can automate your betting research, analysis, and workflows. And the secret to automated betting is using the hottest AI software out there right now, OpenClaw. But first, if you get something out of this video, anything at all, or you want to see more content just like this, please hit like below, and more importantly, hit subscribe. It's free and it tells me that you want more content just like this. And just quickly, before we dive in, I just need to read you this quick disclaimer. What I'm showing you today does not constitute financial advice, and it's intended for personal bettors only. Any browser automation I demonstrate should always be under your control, and you must always operate within the terms and conditions of your bookmaker. The bookmaker I'm using today is for demo purposes only, and I'm maintaining control at all times. Always bet with licensed operators in your jurisdiction. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's jump in. Now firstly, what is OpenClaw? And as we have here, it's free and open source. You can get set up in about 10 minutes. It's got memory, automation, skills, browser control. You can use it through Telegram or WhatsApp, and it's always on. Now, if you've never heard of OpenClaw before, or you'd like to know how to get it set up, I've done a dedicated setup video specifically for betting automations. I'll link to that below. Now, as I said, it only takes about 10 minutes. Once you're up and running, you can not only place bets automatically, but you can also monitor odds, analyze statistics, grade bets, and a whole lot more. And when it comes to OpenClaw actually placing bets for you, today I'll walk you through two real-world use cases for automatically triggering your OpenClaw bot to place bets on bookmakers you'd otherwise have to deal with manually. That is loading the site, logging in, finding the market, placing the bet, and recording that bet afterwards. OpenClaw can do it all for you. Now, it's true, there are some bookmakers and prediction markets where you can bet directly using agent tools or APIs. Think Polymarket, Kalshi, Betfair, and there's others. But those are generally built for financial trading purposes. The traditional bookmakers generally will not provide these tools. There's no public API, and you need to go to their website manually to place the bets. And this is more for the user interface and user experience. So OpenClaw and the incredible range of AI tools out there right now are making this a genuine reality. And I'll show you how to do that. So people ask, can't ChatGPT or other AI companies just do this in the browser for us? Well, technically yes is the answer, but actually it's no. Standard AI companies actively block the ability to navigate to betting sites to place bets. I tried it with FanDuel and ChatGPT's Atlas browser, and as you can see, didn't quite work for me. You can see the results just here. And that's exactly why we need to use something like OpenClaw. But don't worry, it's super simple. So how do we get started? Well, the key concept here is identifying a trigger. Now, a trigger is any event defined by rules that signal to your system to take a next step. Now, it can be almost anything. And here's a great example. In my last video, also linked below, I showed you how to build your own odds comparison system using OpenClaw right on your own computer. So as you can see here, this is the odds comparison engine that we built. As I said, it only took 10 minutes. Again, the video is below and you can see that. But yeah, what we've got here is today's NBA games, for example, and you've got the Cavs and the Pistons, and you can see here that Betfair, you've got BetMGM, so you've got all the bookmakers from like probably all around the world. There's a bunch of them here that have come through on the odds API, and then it's comparing the two prices, and you can get your arbitrage betting here. So at the moment there's one arbitrage bet at 0.78% of guaranteed profit, and that's the Cavs at 325 at Betway, and then Betfair Exchange, the Pistons at 146. So my point with showing you this is that this could actually be used as a trigger if you were doing arbitrage betting. Again, I don't condone it, but if you wanted to do it, you've got here 0.78% profit, and you could set your bot to monitor this and then go and bet at Betway and bet at Betfair if you had those accounts set up, okay? And that's how that could work. And then you've got your positive expected value bets on this page. So you could set it up and say, okay, well, once a certain bookmaker hits a certain percentage of expected value, please go and bet $10 on that bet or whatever, okay? And you could sit and watch it and it would do it. So let's have a go at that now. So I've got a bookmaker that I don't use that often. It's got a little bit of cash in it, and I thought we'd use that as a good example for this particular use case. Okay, so let's say you want to automatically place a bet whenever a bet's value percentage hits 5% or higher. So there's a couple of ways that you can do that. So option one is you could go to your OpenClaw agent and just say, look, can you build a trigger directly into my odds comparison app that you built the other day, and then just tell it that once it hits a certain point, it needs to go and place that bet. Okay. The other option is you could ask your agent to identify the bet and place it in real time. Now let me show you that just to show you how it will work. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to create a skill. Now a skill is something that you teach your agent so it can come back and remember how to do it later. So I'm going to use PointsBet as my bookmaker today. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a bet, and we're going to do that with PointsBet. Now I've got a bit of cash in my PointsBet account, just a little bit. I don't use it that often, so I thought I'd give this a good go and a good test. Now you can use any bookmaker that you like. Anything from FanDuel to Circa to Caesars, any of them, big ones, small ones, it should work on all of them. Okay, and what you need to do is you just need to add a prompt. And what we're going to do with this prompt is we're going to say, from our odds engine, we want to get the best value bet that PointsBet is offering, and we want it to go and place an automatic bet on that. Now that trigger can also be a value bet, it can be an arbitrage bet, it can be sort of any trigger that you want from any app that you want. You just need to talk to your agent and get it to understand what you want it to bet on, okay? So if we go back and we just got this prompt here, basically says, let's get this bet on for PointsBet, the best value bet that you can find on our odds tracker. And then also, you've got to log into the website, use save login details in the browser, find the game in question, add it to the bet slip, and click on confirm until it's placed. So let's just press enter and see what happens. I have not tried this in the wild yet, so this is the first time I've tried it, so fingers crossed it actually works and OpenClaw can work out what it needs to do.
And as you can see here, it's loading the site. And there it's loaded, and it's gone straight to the NBA page. Obviously already logged in, so that's fine. It's found the bet. It's going to bet on the Bucks at 350, at 3.5, or plus 250, 10 stake, and now it's going to click confirm bet, and it clicked it, and it's been placed. So that'll happen in the matter of about 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, and that has been done.
So if we go back to the chat, you can see that the skill was updated. So it basically created a new skill for betting on PointsBet at the same time as actually placing that bet, right? So what it's done is created the skill as it went along. And then I just said, well, don't forget, you need to tell us what you bet on. So obviously it didn't do that part because it did the skill. And then you can see bet is being confirmed. Here's what it placed: the Bucks to win at the money line against the Knicks at 3.5 or plus 250 for those of you familiar with American odds. And then it's just said that my balance went from $122 down to $112, and it actually gave the bet receipt as well. And then it just says down the bottom that Odds Engine, which is the odds comparison engine that we built over here, we flagged it as the only positive edge NBA bet that PointsBet is currently offering, which is why it went for that. Just to recap what it did, when I sent the prompt, it basically said, okay, I'm going to go to my odds comparison engine that I built internally. I'm going to find the best value bet that PointsBet is offering. I'm going to then go to PointsBet and I'm going to bet $10 on that, and I'm going to confirm it. And then I'm going to report back to the chat what I did. And as you saw before, it actually did that. What it does, it pops up a new window. So I popped up the window, recorded that. It took about 10 seconds for it to place the bet, and then it came back and did it. So all in all, a pretty good outcome. Okay, so you can see how quickly it can do these things through the browser. Let's try another use case here. So this one's a little bit more advanced, but basically what it does, it will monitor your emails for a specific email from a tipster, and then it will then trigger that to go and place that bet straight away. As you can see here, just in this example, the tipster sends a daily lock email at 6:15 a.m. OpenClaw will detect that email, and then once it detects it, he will automatically go and place that bet. Okay? So let's just quickly have a look at how that could work. So what do you need specifically for this? Well, you need to set up your email being monitored by OpenClaw. Now, I'm not saying you should get your main email account and set it up directly inside OpenClaw. What I've done is I've actually set my agent up with its own email address. And then you can do certain rules based on the emails that are received by your agent. Okay? I've got a special Google email address just for my agent. And what it will do is every time it receives an email, there's a certain rule around those emails. And I've also given it the ability for my agent to send emails. So it sends some emails daily just based on certain rules, okay? You don't want to give it access to your full email account just because you just never know what the agent will do. I haven't seen any examples of my agent going rogue just yet, but when they start taking over the world, well, you just never know. So I've ring-fenced an email for my agent, and all you need to do is to go into your OpenClaw chat, and you just need to say, hey, OpenClaw, I've got an email address set up for you. Just walk me through how we can get it integrated into your own system so you can send and receive emails. And with the Google email, the best way to do it is with an app password, and your OpenClaw will walk you through exactly how to do that. And it's very simple. Once you've set that up, there's a specific prompt that you'll need to give to your OpenClaw just so that it can start checking your emails specifically for your Tipster emails every day. And you can do this with any other workflows as well, but this one's specifically for your Tipster or handicapper emails that you're receiving and that you want to automatically place your bets with. Okay, so I've just done the prompt. It's basically just for your email address, please check it every 3 minutes from now on. If you receive an email with the subject, today's selection, please read the email for the sport and selection that's in the email. Then use your PointsBet skill to find that bet on PointsBet and place a $10 bet on the selection. Report back in the chat here and on Telegram that you've successfully made the bet. Do not use browser relay. That's just a technical thing that it keeps trying to use a browser relay and it doesn't need to do that. Please let me know when this is set up. Okay, so let's just get that moving. Okay, so now it's just saying it's on it. It's going to check the email script and set up the cron job. So cron job is basically just a recurring job that OpenClaw sets up to run based on certain rules. And in this case, it's to check email every 3 minutes. And if you're setting this up, it doesn't need to be every 3 minutes. It can be every 10 minutes. It can be every minute. You just want to make sure there's not too much load on your computer, but this will be a very small load every time it runs. And you can see here, it's just run through all of the jobs that it needs to do to get this completed. Okay, and you can see here, yes, it's all set up and working. The cron runs every 3 minutes. It just ran a test, connected to Gmail, fine, no emails yet, correctly did nothing. And then, yeah, it just says when an email with the subject and today's selection arrives, passes the sport and selection from the body, navigates to PointsBet via Playwright, same methods as they did before, places a $10 bet on the selection, reports back here in the web chat, and sends a Telegram message. So what we'll do is on my other machine over here, I've got an email written, basically just with the subject today's selection, and it's got a bet for the Pistons at the spread at -6.5. Okay. So I'm just going to send that now, and we're going to see what happens. So if you just go over to my email tab, you can see that it's received the email for today's selection. Okay, and all I've done is just a basic email here that just says, here's today's selection, best bet as follows, on the date of the game, and then the Detroit Pistons spread at -6.5. I just realized what I didn't put was the actual game, who the Pistons were playing. So hopefully it can work that out from there. All right, let's see what happens from here. So let's open up the window to place the bet from the email that it's just received. So it's all working well so far. And you can see that it's selected Detroit at -6.5. It's pressed confirm, and that bet has been done. And that's it. So it's correctly read the email, gone to the bet, and placed the bet straight up. Perfect. And if we go back over to the chat window, you can see that the bet has been placed from today's selection email, Detroit Pistons -6.5 spread, and odds of 1.9, which is -110. So as you can see here, stake of $10, estimated return is 19, with a $9 profit when it wins. Let's just say when it wins. And essentially, that's the workflow done. So what you can do is you can set up different rules for any tipsters that might send emails or whatever. If you've got OpenClaw running, just set one up and see how you go with it. and then just expand it from there. But if you're missing emails, not able to get the prices that you want, you can also tell your agent to stick between certain prices or any other rules that you want to implement. Now, quick reality check. As I said before, just check the terms and conditions of your bookmaker to make sure that this is something that you can do. I've done manual processes here today, so that's all good. But the main reality check is just the speed. Sometimes be a bit slow in terms of working out which bets to place. Okay, as you saw in those examples then, when it finds the bet, it can actually place it really quickly. It just depends on the rules it needs to do in the meantime. In terms of raw speed of getting an email and then you going and actually betting it yourself, you can probably do it quicker than the bot at this stage. But as the bot learns, it gets a lot quicker with how quickly it can place its bets. And yes, with the correct permissions, it can definitely bet while you sleep. It can catch the early morning lines. And as it refines the skill, it gets faster and faster. And there's thousands of possible triggers. You can do any number of triggers that you want based on price, sport, when lines open, all those sorts of things can be done with this system. You just need to build a skill and refine it. And then finally, you can build that into your bet tracking. You can do auto logging where every bet is written to a local database. It can auto grade the bets after the events. So you can set up a skill so that the bot will go out and find the results and will actually auto grade the bets for you. And then you can use your bot to build an ROI dashboard. And this is something a lot of punters love. And it's really worth having to make sure you can track your bets. So ultimately, you're going from a whole pipeline of full bet automation with this system. I'm going to do a future video about bet tracking and building a bet tracking dashboard. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe below and you get notified as soon as that comes out. Hey, did you get something out of today's video? Do you want to see more? Well, subscribe below and you get notified as soon as I release my videos. It's totally free and it's simple to do. And also, drop a comment below. Tell me all about your betting automation and where you're at in your journey. Or just let me know what you'd like to see next in the series. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Keep winning and we'll see you in the next one.